Hey y'all, Frances here with day 24 of the Defemember prompts. Today we have got coffee or tea and a specimen card. This was the one that I was probably the most excited about. It's the one that I saw and immediately I was like, yes, this is going to happen. I need to do this. So everything kind of built off of this one prompt. And I think this might be the one that maybe does me in. But we'll see. We're going to give it a shot. Hopefully you'll think it's as cute as I do. Hopefully it turns out as cute as I think it will. We will find out. Let's get started. Voiceover Frances taking over here. I have got a large Rolodex card here that I have traced the lid from it's like a dollar store plastic container. It's a small, just a little storage container. And I am attempting to cut the circle out of. Kind of what I'm running into is I should have used something that was a little bit bigger because my little lid here is not going to fit in. So now I play this game where I have to cut circles around 5 dozen times till I get it the right size. Eventually I do. Now I'm going to cover the cards with I'm assuming maybe this is a coffee-dyed coffee filter. That would make sense. It could be a tea-dyed coffee filter. I don't know. And as you can see, I didn't make it to the edge on the card, and it's slowly making me crazy. Eventually, I learned to live with it, but, now I just have to sit here with the rest of my life knowing that the edge of this card isn't covered. So there's that, but that's okay. It looks fine. Going to cover the back here now too. Well, the front and the back piece, I should say. Now I try and get fancy and cut out those cute little pie-shaped sections so that I can fold them around the edges so that the edges of the card are covered. I bail on that real quick and just cut them out because I don't have time for that. Go ahead and cut out the back as well, and then I'm just distressing the edges with some ink to kind of cover up the white edge. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to see much of it or not, but just to be careful. Make sure I did my due diligence. This is the tea that I use to dye my papers and stuff with. I don't feel too bad cutting it. Oh, did you hear that dog noise? That's what happens every time I start recording. She has to come make all the noises. Anyways, I stop cutting, or I keep myself from cutting the tea bag just because I thought maybe I would be able to use it in a future prompt. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to ever get back to doing these prompts or not because my craft room is currently in my garage and is a complete and total mess. Putting the tea in my little, what I'm going to call a specimen container. And something I wasn't really counting on was the tea going into the edges of, or the rim of the lid. So that kind of takes away from some of the amount of tea that I had. But I didn't want too much tea because tiny spoon. I need you to see the tiny spoon when it's in there, and you can't see it if there's too much tea. So I went ahead and went with a smaller amount. I kind of wish I would have put a little bit more, but that's okay. And then we are adding our glitter because, of course, you need a little bit of interest in the tea. Kind of draw your eye to it after it's all sealed up. And then I attempt to glue this. This is Beacon 3-in-1. It didn't work. Spoiler alert. It just, I wasn't sure what kind of glue to use. After I saw that this wasn't going to work, I also tried using art glitter glue, but I bailed on that pretty quick as well because I don't know that that's supposed to hold plastic. So eventually, after I wiped off all of the 3-in-1 and the art glitter glue, I went with, what's it called? Hang on. E6000. That's what the glue that I eventually used was. I had to Google it real quick because I couldn't remember because I couldn't go look at my desk because my desk is in the garage and everything is in boxes. I like these little lids because because of the little lip on the side of the lids. I thought that would help hold the lids between the two cards that I've got going here. I just weigh it down with a 1, 2, 3 block. I did that also with the E6000. You don't see me use it, but it was the same type of process, and it worked well. You can see my little spoon, my tiny spoon, and my lids. Then I am just going to stamp out my little sentiment here. I guess this would be a sentiment, maybe a saying, whatever. And here is the theme of the card. What's the tea? I am a fool for those reality TV shows like 90 Day Fiancé and Love After Lockup. Oh my gosh. I am in all the groups, the gossip and stuff that goes around, just knowing that it's, mostly scripted and probably none of it's real. That's what I give myself permission to enjoy, people's pain and suffering. Because I know it's not real. But I enjoy it. It's hilarious. So that's what this card means to me. Here I've just got the end of the T string here to add as a little tab. It was a little bright, so I just dabbed it with ink. Then this is just a little digital lady that I had got off of Etsy. It came with a whole bunch of different little ladies. I sized it down so that it would fit on the card better. This is just a tiny bottle that has art glitter glue in it. I also have a bigger bottle that I failed to get out of the little storage box it was in before it got put in a box and put in the garage. And it's very cold outside right now, so I'm thinking the majority of the glue is gone, which is making me very sad. I've tried going through some boxes and I can't find it. So that was one loss that I've taken, aside from, losing my ability to do what I love. My art glitter glue is probably ruined. Here we are putting it between the two cards, and I realized that when I was trimming the hole, it didn't match up perfectly. So there's that, but I mean, I just end up trimming it off, so it's okay. Just trying to glue it pretty well so that the little plastic tabs stick down to the card. My dog is making gross licking noises. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I was so happy with how this fit together. When I was trying to glue the lids together, I was about ready to call it a day because I didn't know if I was ever going to find anything that would secure it properly, but I did. It's great. I love it. I ended up trimming the edges, and I'm just going around with some ink to kind of blend in the white edges. Shadow, stop. That's gross. You being a gross girl. All right, I thought maybe I needed to finish the edge around the lids. So I had some twine on my desk that I just undid I untwisted it. So this is just one of the little pieces of twine. Gluing it down so that it stays in place. This is the first time, I've used this to punch holes before, but I've never used it for putting in an eyelet, and I struggled, as you'll see here in a minute. I didn't know what settings to use. I still had my instructions, but it didn't seem to work as well as I would have liked, so I need to practice with this quite a bit more. As you can see, I got it stuck. I know I chose the wrong settings, but it ended up working. I'm sure that was totally my fault. And here we have our little teacup on our little safety pin here. I end up kind of not liking the way that it hangs, so I do a little bit of fussing with it. Hangs better, but it wasn't quite enough, so I'm going to my little bead box here, and I absolutely love this box. I love the actual box. I love all of my little beads in it. Ugh, I could just stare into this for hours. I love shiny things. The pearl fit well, but this other little bead I'm about to try does not. So I've got to go back to my box and find something else that will fit. It just wouldn't go around that curve in the pin. I've got some, I guess they're just jump rings. I use them for chainmail stuff. but they're just a thicker gauge ring. Probably something that was a little bit, the wire gauge, if it was a little bit lower, or I guess higher. The higher you go, the thinner the wire. But I guess if I would have used something a little bit different, it would have hung a little bit better, but I'm happy with it. It's what I could get my hands on, and I like the colors, so it works for me. Can't see what I'm doing, but I'm making it, adjusting it so that it'll dangle properly. And there we go. I feel like there needs to be a little bit something more on this side of the card because everything's kind of on the other side. So I get some sequins out. You can't really tell from the color here, but there's like some green and gold, and I think maybe black sequins. Just a little pile there. And this is where my too much gene starts to kick in. I want to add more sequins, but I know it's probably too much. I did end up finding my stickles, and I just go to town. I start simple, and then I just keep going, and then I start panicking because have I done too much? But in the end, I'm happy with how it ends up. I just have to learn when enough is enough. See, probably if I just would have stopped here with the little dots on a couple of the edges, it would have been good. But then I'm like, no, I need something up top. And then I just keep going and going and going and going. And here we go. Final product. I love it. I think it's super cute. Oh, but we're actually not done. We need more stickles. Huh, just joking. Okay, for realsies, I'm done with the stickles now. Thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, I would love it if you could give me a thumbs up, maybe a subscribe. We will talk to you later. Bye.